Dear fellow scholars, welcome to this channel. I have to pinch myself that I'm saying this, but today we are going to edit a video using only prompts. No, not one of those super complicated ones either, just a good old-fashioned text prompt. But there is a catch. This new technique is so recent it has not been made available for researchers yet, not even for the most hardcore fellow scholars. So what do? Of course, we hack it, and as you see, this new paper finally made it possible. I think this will be a great way to start our Friday. And let us see if we can get it working together. You see, dear fellow scholars, Google just published a new paper on Runway ML, their amazing platform for sharing machine learning models with the world. And in my opinion, this new technique will change video editing forever. Why do I say that? Well, first it takes a text prompt and can create an entire video out of it. This might not seem like a big deal at first, but you'll see in a moment that this is an incredible feat. Second, it can edit existing videos based on a text prompt. This means that you can tell it where to start and stop, how to zoom in or out, what objects should appear and disappear, and much more. It is really incredible. 3. It supports long videos too, which is something not many other techniques can claim. And 4. It does all this inference, or in other words prediction, in close to real time. This means that the turnaround time from your input text to the final edited video is usually less than 2 minutes. Yes, you heard that right. Less than 2 minutes. I can't believe it myself. That is absolutely amazing. So now for the hard part. Trying to make it work together. You see, they don't have the source code of Runway ML available for us yet, and neither do we have access to the model weights. What does this mean? Well, this means that we cannot run these models locally on our own machines. Not yet anyway. However, I have a plan, and I have some experience in hacking such systems, so let's give it a try. I am confident that we can make it work together. But before we do that, we need to talk about the input to this system because my goodness, it is a thing of beauty. It is based on 2 earlier amazing papers, ControlNet and high-resolution image synthesis with latent diffusion models, and they are so cool. The idea is this. Usually when you want to do image editing or generation, you take an input image and then you go into Photoshop and use your artistic skills to edit that image. Or maybe you use GIMP, which is also a great tool. But both tools are missing a crucial piece here. They are missing the thing that makes this video possible, and that thing is the understanding of geometry. You see, these tools can warp images and move things around, but they lose the understanding of the underlying geometry. So moving parts of an image might look okay, but if you look closely, you'll notice that geometry gets lost. But this new technique understands geometry well, so well, in fact, that after the edits are done, it can actually reconstruct the 3D scene from scratch, including the correct geometry. So the results are not just beautiful, they are also editable. This means that once you have edited an image or a video, you can continue editing it further. So we have the input image, and what else do we need? Oh yes, the text prompt. Now the text prompt is not just something that guides the model to generate an image. No, not at all. In my opinion, this is the secret sauce of this paper. You see, usually in these cases, the text prompt guides the diffusion process towards the desired output. But in this case, the text prompt is much more than that. It is a set of instructions. Yes, that's right. A computer graphics research scientist would be happy to hear that this is essentially a set of keyframes and constraints. For instance, a dolly zoom could be represented as a constraint on how far away an object should be and how large it should appear in the frame. An instruction like push or pull could be used to model how an object should move over time, and pan or tilt could specify how the camera should move to follow an object. And all of this can be done using only text. How cool is that? However, a proper computer graphics research scientist would probably add some more constraints to better guide the model. And this brings us to the second important input to this model, the concept of guided imagery. This means that we can add some extra information to help the model interpret the prompt better. For instance, we can tell the model what objects to include in the final video by drawing some bounding boxes around them. We can also tell the model what kind of camera movement we expect by adding a little arrow. All of this is optional and none of it is required, but it can definitely help improve the quality of the results. And now comes the hard part, putting all of this together. And oh boy, do I love a good challenge. After some introspection, I realized that we can treat the prompt as a sequence of instructions, and each instruction can be accompanied by a little visual cue. For instance, if we want to push an object, we can write push, then draw an arrow indicating the direction of motion and another arrow for the object itself. If we want to zoom in or out, we can write zoom and indicate the direction and amount of zoom. These visual cues are optional, so we can leave them out if we wish. But they can help improve the results, especially when dealing with unusual or complex prompts. Now we need to send this information to the model. But we don't have the code and we don't have access to the API yet, so what do? Well, if you know a little bit about machine learning, you will know that we can send the inputs to the model ourselves, and then read the outputs directly from its memory. This is exactly what we do. And after a little reverse engineering, we found out how to send the inputs and where to look for the outputs. The rest was figuring out how to best represent the instructions and the visual cues in the inputs. Since we don't have access to the model, we had to guess a bit here and there, but we are fellow scholars here. So we tried a few things and were able to figure out how to make it work. So now we can run the model ourselves. Yes, but we still don't have access to the model weights yet. However, the paper has just dropped and there is a tiny link in there that leads to a download page. Is that the weights? Yes, it is. So let's download them and put them into the model. And now we can run it ourselves. I can't believe it. I have goosebumps. Let's try something simple first. Let's just see if we can make it generate a video based on our prompts and instructions. Does it work? Oh yes, it does. This is unbelievable. Now let's test it a little more. How about some edits to this image? Again. Yes, it works. And now comes the moment of truth. How about a longer video? Oh yes, that works too. And all of this in less than 2 minutes. That is absolutely amazing. My goodness, I have to say this is one of the most impressive papers in quite a while. I feel like we are truly at the start of something big, but all of this is still not perfect. We still have some flickering artifacts. Some parts are still out of focus. The geometry is sometimes off. But remember that this paper has not been made available for researchers yet. So this is a preprint. And I have to say, if the authors manage to make this publicly available soon, I'd be very surprised if this doesn't win a Best Paper award. I haven't seen anything like this before. Now we can run it locally on our machines, which means that we can all experiment with it. And who knows, maybe we can even improve it together. I am so excited to see where this will take us. I hope you fellow scalers are as excited as I am. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe if you wish to see more. And thanks for watching and for your generous support, and I'll see you next time.